What's going on, y'all? It's a great day to be alive. Now, I'm making this video because I've seen a lot of videos talking about escape your 9 to 5, become a content creator, live out your dreams. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I just want to give an opposite flip side of the coin perspective of a 9 to 5 job is not a bad thing. And I get it. People are calling it 9 to 5, but we all know people work all kinds of shifts. My father worked in the steel mill. He worked every single shift, night shift, evening shift, and the daytime shift. I myself, I work part-time. There's probably some other people who work 8 to 5, different hours. So I get it. 9 to 5 is a catchy title, and that's what we've been using. But I don't hear many people talking about using your 9 to 5 to create the life that you actually want. See, most of the videos talk about leaving 9 to 5 to make the life you want. But I think so far with my years on this earth, I'm a testament that you can use your job as leverage and an investor in your own life. That way you can still create the life you want and work a job, because someone has to work these jobs. Someone had to work to make this camera I'm recording. Someone had to work to make this microphone for me to talk. Someone has to work on YouTube to process all this information, put it into a server, and get it out to people. Some people still got to work, and it's not all bad. So I want to start there and say, let's stop demonizing a 9 to 5 or work as if it's so bad. There's nothing wrong with it. If you would ask these people what they actually wanted beyond quitting their job to pursue what they wanted in life, they will probably realize that they don't need as much money as they think they do, and they probably could shape the life they want with the job they have. Now, I understand you may not like your job, and that's why you want to quit. That makes sense. A lot of people, you might stay on a job for 20 years, 30 years, and just don't like it. And that is taking a lot of time away from what you want to do with your life, quote unquote. But even if you have a plan for your life, it's not guaranteed that it's going to make you happy, right? Because we're only assuming whatever we want in the future is going to make us happy, but we actually don't know. You might actually be sitting in your happiness already. Let me get to my story and why I like working a job, and I've still been able to make my dream life. Now, I've been working since I was 14 years old. Every time the summer comes up, had the summer jobs, and I just love working. But I also had another side hustle at the time. I sold bootleg CDs in high school. Now, this was a time where not too many people had home computers, and where I grew up, not too many people had home computers. So I was fortunate to have a computer with a CD burner and access to internet when we had the old dial-up. So I made a business out of that, selling CDs. Now, my passion that I found out that I had in high school was making music. That's what I wanted my job to be for the rest of my life. That's what I thought. That's going to make me happy. Making music, making beats for artists and stuff like that. Being the next Timbaland, being the next Neptunes, because those were my heroes I looked up to. So while I was making the bootleg CDs, I also had another job working at KFC, doing that little job part-time while in high school, and I also had the summer jobs. So in order to get my equipment, I had to save up from all my jobs. Now, I didn't particularly, the bootleg and the CDs, I liked it. It was actually pretty fun because then people would give me ideas of songs, and then I get to hear new songs because I really love music. KFC, it was an okay job. I get to learn people's behaviors and how to manage money and really learn how to build work ethic and accountability. But the main goal was always work all these jobs to get my first piece of music equipment. And that's what I did. I saved up for my first piece of music equipment. It was $500. And I really learned to delay the gratification. See, I think that's another important thing people don't get when they just say, leave your 9 to 5. Your 9 to 5 helps you with delayed gratification. There are some people that advise save up your money, then leave. That way you have a nice little nest egg to go. But I think it also helps you build that delayed gratification, so you'll be able to save up for a little savings fund so you can leave your 9 to 5 or get what you want from the job that you're already working. In my case, it was a drum machine, and that one drum machine purchase had led to me now in my current life, I'm making music for TV and film. See, my goals changed. I always thought I wanted to make music for artists and be on the radio, be popular, be known. But then someone else came into my life and said, hey, you can make music for television. I didn't even know that was a route that I could do. And I started doing it. And while I started doing this, making music for television, guess what? I still had a 9 to 5 job. But this time, let's fast forward. So now I go to college and I major in telecommunications with a minor in music because I really love music. But the telecommunications aspect showed me how to create video, how to create story, how to use cameras, how to hook up sound systems. I was really trained to work in a newsroom, switching all the cameras and stuff like that. So once I graduated, I got a job working at a pharmaceutical company, and I was a part of a team that was responsible for their in-house AV stuff, right? So here it is, my degree is paying off. Oh, I forgot to say, while I was in college, I was working multiple jobs, right? I was able to land a job at Chick-fil-A because I worked at KFC. I also worked as an RA, or resident assistant. So I would help manage the people that came into the dorm rooms, do different activities, different games, go out the trip. So I would have to organize that stuff. So you see the theme going, I'm learning different skills. So now I'm expanding my skills. Now I have a little bit of management under my belt. And I'm still working these part-time jobs and I'm saving up money. And in college is when I got my next big piece of musical equipment. And that was a Motif keyboard. And I was able to buy that over time to up my level from the little beat machine that I first had. That was a $500 machine to a $1,200 machine. So it was a different quality, different sounds, different stuff like that. But the work in college enabled me to still create my passion and still live it out while working. Yeah, eventually the RA stuff, it got kind of old, approaching my senior year in college. And I was like, man, I'm tired of doing this stuff. I was tired of working at Chick-fil-A, but hey, it was getting me through college. So now let's go back forward. I'm out of college and I get this job doing AV and sound systems. I'm still working, but this is when I start making music for TV and film. So I'm still investing into my craft, into my passion, and what I believe my life, what I want it to be. And I'm working overtime. All this stuff to fund my music stuff. So I'm building up my studio over time, over years, and all this process has helped me. I'm not going out and rushing and buying all the things I need right now because I have the practice of that delayed gratification that I've had since I was 14 of working, saving, working, saving, working, saving, and thinking about my 9 to 5, my regular job as an investor in my life that I want. So eventually I just keep working this job and I'm able to build up my studio, get different things, get better equipment, and I'm making more money with music licensing. So now, while I'm working this job, my 9 to 5, because I have an asset now with my music that's on television, it's paying me when I'm at my other job. You see, you get paid royalties on your music licensing. If you're not a part of this channel and you don't understand music licensing, which I talk about regularly, when your stuff gets placed on TV, film, they have to pay you for every time they play it. So even right now, while I'm recording this video, there's probably some show playing my music that I created at one time, and now I'm getting royalty income on that. So I can continue to work a job to pay other bills and have that back end money to build my other sources of income. So now let's fast forward to present day life. I no longer work at that AV company because that was in the US. I now live in Canada. But I continued to work, found similar work with another AV company. And then 2020 hit, and we all know what happened. That big pandemic, right? And that just showed a lot of people you can't have all your eggs in one basket. So another lesson I learned from there about why I like work and using it as an investor in my own business, during the pandemic, they needed a lot of people to clean. So I got hired, even though I had no experience in cleaning. Like I said, I went to school to learn audio and video production, but they needed a lot of workers and they needed them fast. So I worked in a nursing home for about 2 years, and this was full time. Like I was putting in a lot of hours. I was serving food. I was cleaning. I was stocking the food. I was doing some maintenance stuff. I was doing whatever basically they needed me to do because they needed all hands on deck. And while I did that, I still was working on my other business. So I have another business. I know I have a lot of jobs. I teach dance fitness. So I was doing that. I was always been doing fitness stuff since about 2016. So that's another job that I have. But I was doing it still during the pandemic. And it actually helped me because everybody was stuck at home. All the gyms were closed. So all of a sudden, all the videos that I was posting on YouTube prior wasn't getting no views. Then eventually the pandemic hits, they get views. So now I'm working on my business and I'm using it as donation based. So you didn't have to really pay anything to do this live stream class, but people were giving me donations. They were really appreciative. And while they was giving me donations, that money I had from that dance fitness business was able to buy new camera equipment, new computer to help me edit, new lights to make my dance fitness stuff look better. See, so I was doing that while working the full-time job that paid my bills. So even though the full-time job could have got me the extra equipment as well, the side job got me the equipment as well. So you see how it's playing out in my life. And this is how it could play for your life. I'm doing what I still want to do and letting someone else fund what I want to do, right? And it's the whole combination. So I'm making music, check. I'm teaching fitness, check. I'm still doing AV technology stuff, like this YouTube thing, check. Also, what I've learned to do to expand my skills, I started DJing. So I'm doing that. So DJ goes with the AV stuff, setting up sound systems, setting up lights. So you think of all what I do, that's 4 jobs. Plus, right now, I'm a janitor. So being a janitor pays most of my bills. And to be transparent, I'm not in this alone. And I think what a lot of people miss out too, they don't disclose what advantages they may have. So in this case, I have a partner, I have my wife, and she pays half of the bills, I pay half of the bills as well. So the burden on me alone is not that high. Plus, we also don't have any kids and not planning to have any kids. So it already takes that income off the table. And also, we own our home. During the pandemic, we lived with her parents and we went in on the house together to live with them, to help take care of them. I was fixing up the house, doing things. So we built equity in the house and we were able to sell it when things were really good. And we moved to a different part of Canada where the cost of living is lower because my wife's job is mainly online. A lot of my stuff is online too. So we decided to move. So we was able to buy a mobile home outright. It's a smaller space, a smaller amount of investment, but that's off the table. So those are my caveats. I understand you may have kids, mortgage, and all the other things. I really do understand that. So I'm just letting you know where I'm coming from. But even having all that stuff, you still may be able to ink out a way to live the life you want. Because you might think that you need $1 million or $500,000. Yes, that sounds nice because it's a big number, but you might not need that much. Right now, if we just take it in my case, if I take all those other caveats aside, I don't need that much to live to pay my half of the bills. And I reduced my workload. So I'm not working no longer 9 to 5. I'm working only 4 hours at my janitor job. Now, the janitor job, they don't give me benefits. It's okay they don't give me the dental benefits because in Canada we get health benefits, but I have to pay for dental and stuff separate. But it's okay that I only work 4 hours. I get to go in, I get to talk to colleagues, understand their lives, and be around people with them. But the being part-time allows me the freedom to do my other jobs, right? I told you, I'm teaching dance fitness. I make music for TV. I DJ. And I work for the AV company, right, on the side doing that stuff. So I have my own DJ, my own entertainment company, and then I work for another entertainment company that does weddings and stuff too, until I can get my feet off the ground where I'm doing everything, and then I can even work less because my plan is, at least from the DJing, I can do 1 or 2 events a month in the height of the season, wedding season, make probably like $1,500 a wedding. You think 2 weddings a month, that's $3,000. It don't sound like a lot, but just doing that alone will be enough to pay my part of the bills and still have extra on top of the other jobs I already do. So you see how I piece together my life with the 9 to 5? It's not bad. I want us to stop this narrative that it's so bad to be working a job. And that's what I mostly tell. You already know, if you're a beat builder and you've been here on the channel, you know I've been preaching to you. There's nothing wrong with working a job while working on your music production. So if you're watching this and you're not into music production, but you have other dreams and goals, let's say you want to write a book. Use your 9 to 5 to help you write the book, where you can take courses to get better at your writing. You can take other courses to learn to buy more books. You can do other things with that time, whether it's photography or whatever that you're into. Use your 9 to 5 as your investor into your other side project and your passion. Now, if your passion happens to take off, like if you're in photography or you write books and you're making more money than your regular job, then yes, consider quitting, because now you're living the life that you want, doing what you want. But let me put a caveat on that. Just because now you're living the life you want, being a photographer, doing book deals, whatever it is you want to do, it's still work. So you're replacing your 9 to 5 for another 9 to 5. Hey, but there is upside. You get to control it somewhat, and you're living life on your time, because we can go at any time. We don't know how much longer we have on this earth. And to continue to keep working and helping other people live their dreams, it might not be something you want to do. I know when I talk to my father, my father and my mother, they sacrificed a lot for us kids, and he did the same thing. But he didn't have the mindset to think about it in the way that I'm telling to you now. He used his job and my mother, they used their jobs combined to help put 4 kids through college. 4 kids through college. Now, they didn't make that much money. And my father, to tell you the truth, is not great with handling money. He is not great with money. He didn't make much money. But he put 4 kids through college. And that was his goal, was just to see his kids do better than him, so we didn't have to work with our hands like he did. He worked in a steel mill, hard labor, hot, uncontrolled environments. It'd be hot, it'd be cold. He had to work into it. He said he wanted his kids to work with our brains, to use this to make money and not our hands. Nothing's wrong with using your hands, because I use them now doing the janitor stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I learned the work ethic from him. And I learned to take pride in my job, take pride in the 9 to 5, that it's honor in doing things like that, because somebody has to do it. So he lived the same dream, put his kids through college. That's all he wanted to do. He got all 4 of us through college, and he lived the dream. So tell me that ain't a happy life. He accomplished his goal. He didn't need $1 million to do that. He accomplished his goal. Now, $1 million would have helped him do it easier, but he still accomplished the goal. And that's what I want to preach to you. You can still accomplish your goal with less money and keeping your 9-to-5 job. So I hope this hits home with you, and I hope you just not quitting your job to start YouTube. One last thing before I go. If you're going to do YouTube, don't call yourself a YouTuber. Why? Let me give you an example. You probably know Steven Spielberg, right? Famous movie director, made E.T., Jurassic Park, Jaws. He doesn't call himself a DreamWorks. He doesn't call himself MGM, right? Those are names of studios. You know what he calls himself? A screenwriter, a storyteller, a movie producer. Don't quit your job to say, I'm going to be a YouTuber. You're not a YouTuber. You need to get out your head that you're going to be a YouTuber, because if this platform had a different name, that wouldn't even exist. People on TikTok don't call themselves TikTokers. You don't call yourself a Facebooker. This is just a platform to post things. Like I see myself with this music production, this page, I'm an educator. I educate people on how to get their music into television and film. YouTube is just a platform that allows me to educate people. So even if YouTube went away, I'm still an educator. That doesn't change. So I want you to think about that. You want to just quit your 9-to-5 and say you want to be a YouTuber? No. Define what you actually want to be. If you want to vlog your life like this, call yourself a storyteller, because you are a storyteller. You have a story to tell. You're not a YouTuber. But I can go on for days about that, saying that. But you get what I'm saying, right? So let me know in the comments what you want to do for your life. And if you're going to start reevaluating that you actually need less to live the life that you want. If you sit down, jot out a course for your life, you will probably need less than you think. And to change your mind about using your 9-to-5 for leverage to fund your life over here that you want. Take it easy. Peace.